This right here is exactly why fans love Sophie Cunningham.
Can't keep my hands to myself. I mean, I could, but why would I want to?
Because she's not backing down from what she did the other night in defending her team, herself, Caitlin Clark, and we'll get to that in just a second. But this is a new format for me, trying a little roundup here, and we'll start with last night. Paige Bueckers picks up a technical foul, the first of her WNBA career. Congratulations to Paige. And other players seem to be fine with it. Paige Bueckers has got to be about the most universally liked player in the WNBA. It seems like, at least from a rookie, who's getting a lot of hype standpoint, because here's Paige walking around the court during this Sun game. That was the clapping thing that she did to the ref to get the technical foul. And some of the Connecticut Sun players, J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabrey, are like, hey, come on. Why did that happen to you? Obviously it's funny because they're the same players who were involved in the Caitlin Clark skirmish the other day. And look, I don't think every time Paige gets mentioned, Caitlin Clark needs to be mentioned, and vice versa. Paige has had a very good rookie year. I do think it's healthy in the sense that she plays a similar position to Caitlin. So if there's going to be a natural rivalry that emerges, if Paige can carry the weight of that, that would actually be great for the WNBA. But right now on her own, Paige is making a name for herself and going out there and explain the technical after the game. Here's what Paige Bueckers had to say.
I guess first of all, did you get any clarification about what happened with that technical and why it was called?
Yeah, I clapped twice and I said and one, and he said I clapped in his face, so that's all.
The Wings have won a couple games in a row. That since Lee Euro came over, and since they moved Dejanay Carrington out of the starting lineup, Isaiah James has played very, very well for them. Paige Bueckers is an efficient player. She has had a very, very good rookie season so far. I think that the thing she needs to work on the most is perhaps shooting more threes. She's not getting enough threes up there from a volume standpoint, and closing games a little bit more aggressively, down the stretch of games, coming through a little bit more. But she's had a heck of a rookie season. Nobody can take that away from her. And of course, Caitlin Clark was the player who was the first pick a year ago. So considering, they competed for college awards, and considering they came into the league 1 year after another, there is at least a natural comparison point there. I still think Clark is the more explosive player and the better player, but that doesn't mean Paige ain't a damn good player in her own right. Now, that was not the only thing that happened. As I mentioned, you've got the popularity boost for Sophie Cunningham, and you can see that coming in a variety of ways. Sophie has seen her TikTok followers go up. This graph, courtesy of Sportico, right here. You see this huge jump for Sophie Cunningham. And there have just been a bunch of metrics. There have been a bunch of metrics that say Sophie Cunningham has become a lot more popular in the wake of what happened with the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun the other day. And that's because people have been desperate to see a player stand up for Caitlin Clark and the Fever. And, there's other natural stuff that comes along with Sophie Cunningham, not to mention her attitude, her pizzazz, and her energy. And no matter what haters and detractors are going to say, it's only going to make her more popular. It's only going to feed into that more. And, Sophie Cunningham gets dubbed this enforcer, but she's a good player too. She can shoot the three ball. She brings a lot of energy to the table, can handle a little bit in spurts, and is that prototypical player who can give you a lot of versatility because she can guard up. She can be a small ball four, or she can, play at a 2-3 kind of position. Regardless, a huge addition for the Indiana Fever this season is Sophie Cunningham. And she's tough, right? Like, she had the black belt or whatever it is at age 6, whatever the stat is out there. She played on her high school football team. Sophie Cunningham's going to back it up. So anybody's got a problem with her, the problem is she can handle herself. And, that's what the Fever have needed. They've needed that. Kevin Garnett spoke about, teams needing that and players needing that.
I thought it was always big to not only support teammates, but to show. And then too, For that to be your best player, you gotta protect the best player. Man, when you got a girl like Caitlin on your team and you got a star on your team like Luka or Bron, yeah, some hitters on that team that'll go hard for the main player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as it should. But I think the physical element is just part of the game, man. And I don't know why we keep trying to discount it. But, you know, basketball is a physical sport, and that physicality actually comes into play, into how you play, you getting stronger, you know what I'm saying? That continuity, you gotta have that, and you gotta be together because teams see when you don't go to help a guy up, or if P fall and none of us run to him, or when you see a guy fall and you don't see teammates pick him up or pick her up, that's what your team is. You hear me? Because you sprint to your best player, you sprint. Because, man, when you're not like that, you can actually beat a team and separate them while you're playing.
Just like boxing or something. If you fighting against the best, you got to do something and junk it up. I got to hold a little bit more. I got to elbow. I got to go out. I got to take you out of your element.
Make it uncomfortable?
Yeah, I got to do stuff that, like I got to hold on you a little more. I got to like do some bullshit. I got to bring you down to my level now.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. It's a privilege, though. It's a privilege to be in a position where others are hating on you. And when others are hating on you, that means you're doing something right.
So obviously that last statement in regards to Caitlin Clark. Speaking of the perception that people are hating on Caitlin Clark, let's get into somehow the Team USA Olympic snub is still a topic, and it's out there because Christine Brennan's book is coming out, and Cheryl Reeve, who of course was the coach of that team, she spoke about what Christine Brennan wrote about her, which is, or said about her, really, I guess more so. Christine Brennan had said her behavior was stunningly bad when she was kind of saying that the league was, I think her tweet said that part in reference to the league only caring about Caitlin. Here's what Cheryl Reeve had to say about that.
What she wrote is fiction. And if she were paying attention, one of the things that I have done for years is held the league accountable for their missteps, mishaps, their lack of representation of all teams. And so that particular situation had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark and had everything to do with a WNBA social media post that promoted one preseason game and not all preseason games. And so I simply said that, and by the way, the Minnesota Lynx are playing the Chicago Sky, which, you know, also had some popular player in Angel Reese that people were interested in. And it simply wasn't posted on their account. I also posted things when Nafisa Collier was not including in promotion of the greatness of our league. And I, you know, made posts. And so if Christine Brennan were being thorough and a legitimate reporter in this situation, she would have gotten full context, but it didn't fit the narrative. Christine Brennan likes to have a villain in her storytelling. I am Christine Brennan's villain. That's what she's going to, that's the sword she's going to die on. And it's a fiction, the stuff that she has written about me and my interest in Caitlin Clark being on or off the team.
So look, I mean, I don't know about Cheryl Reeve's role behind the scenes on the Olympic team. The stuff about the posts is not really a fiction, though. I mean, the receipts were pulled here. Cheryl Reeve did, to her credit, let me be fair, she did say you can still watch the links, but it was the reply that said that part because they only care about Caitlin that you know, got the ire of Christine Brennan. We'll see what happens when the book comes out, right? We'll see if the book is thrown at them or not. But regardless, the Team USA Caitlin Clark Olympic snub was, I said at the time, was always going to be a story for the rest of time.